So do me a favor, give me a big GoPro welcome for James Zhang, Edward Olan, Gabriela Sampo, Lori Bradford, and Andrea Trina. Come on out. Come in. Have a seat.
Thank you again.
Welcome, welcome. They all got wear black memo. They were all wearing black. So, and congratulations to all of your success. And I wanted to get a combination of two things in this panel. Some fresh faces, maybe some stories people hadn't heard before, and your perspective on what have you done that caused you to lead yourself when other people didn't. They could have, but you did. You had that discipline. And two, how have you learned how to lead other people? So James, let's start with you. How long have you been involved in the profession now?
15 years.
15 years. And you've had, I'm sure, ups and downs.
Any ups and downs.
Right. Talk about this journey of learning how to employ yourself and learning how to effectively become a better leader of yourself first. What did you do that was different from other people?
I think sometimes the best way to learn how to do something is to have examples of what you didn't like and do the complete opposite. And I'm grateful and I'm honored for all the lineages that came before, but to be honest, I had multiple uplines leave. My sponsor left when we started our company. Who here had an upline that left that is not here anymore, by the way? That's why you.
Quite a few.
Congratulations. And I thought to myself, that kind of sucks, but how do we break those curses and how do we break that legacy into the next generation? So the question is, what would I would have wanted to be done to me, and how do I exemplify that for the team? So one of the big things is just leading from the front. I never wanted to be that person in the ivory tower, just kind of like telling people what to do. And I always just think to myself, if I'm gonna tell somebody to do something, am I doing that? Am I in the trenches with them rather than just coaching from the grandstand types of things? So to answer your question, it's kind of negative examples of what I had, and then great examples like right here as well too, and implementing that into the field.
Yeah, here's the thing that I found out. It's really common. Maybe your upline didn't quit or leave, but they weren't very helpful. If they're not in the room, your upline, how many had an upline that wasn't very helpful? Honest, be honest. You had to pretty much do it on your own, okay? I actually think that's a gift. It's a gift depending on how you perceive it and depending on what you do with it. If you go, you know what? And it was a gift for me because I spent probably my first 6 months mad. I was mad because my upline was making so much money and they wouldn't even give me the time of day. And I was producing and I was doing all this stuff and I couldn't get any support at all. And they were, acting all like I was like nothing. And I finally said, you know what? I'm gonna be my own upline. I'm done. I don't need you anymore. I'm gonna pretend, tricking my mind, I'm gonna pretend like that I'm signed up frontline to the company. I'm the support. And if I don't know how to do it, I gotta go figure out how to do it. And when I did that, I walked away from blame and I stepped into responsibility. That totally changed everything for me. So I love the fact that you're leading by example. I love the fact that you kind of reframed the narrative around support and caused yourself to do more actions. What did you do in order to be able to inspire, lead? I mean, let me give you one of the things that we're trying to accomplish in leadership. What we're trying to accomplish in leadership is to get people to do a little bit more of what they would not have done. Get them to take a little bit more action in whatever direction. That's how we define. I mean, you can tell me you're a leader, but if nobody's following, I don't know if you're a leader. I think we measure that by, do you have somebody paying attention to what you're saying? And number two, are they taking action that they wouldn't have taken because of you? That's what I want you to think about. What can how can I be a better leader to cause people to take an action that they weren't going to do, but now they'll do it because of me? So what did you do in order to be able to create that desire for people to take action that they weren't going to take?
Absolutely. Well, I take my notes from, for me, my greatest upline is Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. And what I love is there's three things I learned from him, even just a very practical space. Number one is he always led from the front. He was always showing people exactly what to do so they can follow him. Number two, though, is he cast vision into people. He called things as they could be, even though they weren't. They called Peter, when he was someone that was kind of a bumbling buffoon, into an amazing leader. And the last thing that he did is he served people and he loved them into their potential. So doing these things, one of the biggest things I've seen is these last couple of years, people are so broken, people are so hurt, people are like, they're really, really vulnerable right now. So if we can be the leaders to help build hope and faith into them again and love them into their potential, they just rise and thrive. So those things have been major differences. We've had multiple leaders, Eric, this last year that said they would never do this again, came in. They're doing millions of dollars a year now in sales right off the bat because of those three things.
Love it, love it, love it. Love them into their potential. That was a good one. Because, I mean, yes, I'm an empath. I'm an empathetic person, you know, because like on a high level, like if I go visit somebody in the hospital, I get sick kind of thing. You know, I totally absorb other people's emotions like really, really fast. But my coping mechanism for being introverted was to be a strategist. So I spent my first, I don't know, couple years focusing on strategy. I was a technician. I was a tactician. I always had a strategy and a way to be able to do things. But the secret sauce, I realized that the people that walked into the room and they're surrounded by other people who wanted to have their time, they weren't particularly amazing at tactics, but they were really good at building culture. They were really good at pouring themselves emotionally into other people. So I had to attach the emotion piece because I was pretty businessy. I had to attach the emotion piece to the strategy. When you do both of those things, it becomes pretty powerful. So thank you. Give them a round of applause, would you? So here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to just, with each of you, take 1 to 2 minutes, stand up, and give everybody here and at home a piece of advice. James, you're first.
I love what Gary Brecka said yesterday about authenticity being the highest frequency. Who here aligned and resonated with that right there? We see the world right now, we have the biggest opportunity ever for network marketing to get louder than ever before. And I think when we say getting louder, what does that really mean? Not necessarily on social media, not necessarily with tons of meetings, those are all great. But I think we need to be louder with just being the authentic selves, the servant leaders that we can truly be. Because the greatest capacity that we have in this whole business you've seen throughout this entire weekend is the capacity to transform and touch and change people's lives, to call people's potential from within them and to love them into who they are. And I believe we can walk out of this event and this next year just being focused and obsessed about serving other people and uplifting them to become who they were called to be. Watch what's going to happen next year, and it's going to be incredible. But thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Pleasure.